Can you dance? Let's find out. I want to see everybody on the dance floor right now. I'm about to put y'all to the test. Let's go. Do you know the dances? Do you know the hip-hop dances? Let's see. This one is the raw for sure, taking no chances. Bringing back them old school dances, here's the answers. Whether you remember or you're new to this endeavor, dance is a major part of this culture forever. What are we preserving if the children ain't learning? Culture ain't about just numbering and just wording. Sometimes you gotta show the culture at the party. Let's start with the Bismarck dance. Come on, everybody. The Bismarck, the party about to get sparked. This is that moment you get live, get courage, get hard. I spit art, I'm one of a kind, they not me. I'm digitally underground like Shock G. Speaking of Shock G, when I jump, we jump. That's crisscross, but we talking about Humpty Hump. When you up, what? This is your chance. Come on everybody, do the Humpty dance. Let's go. Was the Humpty, now let's get it chunky. Like Biz used to say, yo, let's get funky. Funky, with the funk flow, we don't stop. Right about now, we gonna take it to the wop. Remember the wop, feet slide, shoulder drop. We did it in the clubs, we even did it on the block. Ready, set, go, stand on your spot. Take it to the top, come on y'all, let's do the wop.
Let's hit it.
Whopping, non-stopping, hip-hopping, we dropping. We ain't even get yet to popping or locking. It's shocking how many dance moves we came with. Obviously, we in the ancestors got the same gift, the same lift, the same riff, and the same split. Like Bob Marley said, when the music hits, it's painless. You can't tame this or hate this. You gotta love me. Come on, y'all. Let me see you do the Dougie.
I'm on the runway.
Woo! That's right.
We about to take off, y'all.
That's right.
Let's go. I'm on the runway. I'm about to take off.
We go freestyle.
Y'all ready?
Some of y'all doing the Cabbage Patch. Some of y'all doing the Running Man.
I'm gonna lose a few today.
Come on. Freestyle. Freestyle. Come on, y'all.
Come on. Who with me?
Yeah. Where my B-boys at? Where my B-girls at? Okay, we out.
I got a question. I have a question. Is everyone enjoying their Monday? Good evening to everybody, man. I hope you at home by now from your day at work. And hey, listen, I see some names here. The only reason why I see certain names here because they know I'm doing a ticket giveaway. They ain't here to hear me. They're not here to hear what I have to say. They're here to win those New Era Boxing Champ tickets. And I got to figure out how we're going to do it. I got several tickets here. I'll probably take a commercial break for the first time in my life of Wyatt-Live. And I left the tickets in my car, in the garage. But that's okay. I'll prove to you that these tickets exist. And I'm going to run out and get them here at halftime of the show. How about that? Of our conversation. What's good with everybody, man? How was everybody's weekend? My weekend was great because it was full of boxing. I was able to watch a lot of boxing over the weekend. And that helps soothe my mind when I have a boxing card coming up. Because what a lot of people don't know is boxing, quite honestly, not just boxing, but when you're a business, when you're running your own business, what a lot of people don't understand is that most people show up. It's like Thanksgiving dinner. You know, most people show up, sit down at the food table and enjoy the meal, and they didn't put any work in the kitchen. So you don't know all that what it took to make those mashed potatoes that mashy. You don't know what it all took to make that gravy taste so well. You don't know all it took. You don't know what hit the floor. You don't know what's dirty. You don't know if you picked up a roll that didn't fell off the floor, and all that old type of shit. But what I say to my entrepreneurs, the people that are actually out here and put that work in, is we speak a different language. We speak a different language. There's a lot of people don't know what true support is until they really need it. People, I had somebody tell me, now this is not recently, but I'll probably have to run this same thing again for this up and coming card. But I had an individual tell me one time, hey, Wyatt, hey, man, listen, me and my wife, we going to come out to the fights. I want to support you, man. Send me 2 tickets. I'm going to support you. So let me understand this. No matter what you do, if you run a restaurant, whatever it is, y'all know what I'm talking about. Real support comes when people who are paying to support you, not being in the building and being in your presence. That's not support. I'm just going to be there. I'm going to show you my grace and I'm going to show up. That's not support. Not like here. Like, okay, if you're talking about Wyatt-Live and we sitting here kicking it, you're supporting me by being here and we having this conversation. We're supporting each other. Okay, we're supporting each other. Because it take a special person to sit here and listen to my ass every day, all day, for a couple hours. But I have to say I respect those that, because, we all have something in common, and maybe we have a thing in common. We got something in common. So you listen, and that's great. But there's certain people out here that know exactly what I'm talking about when I speak of the word success and support. Real support is when you give somebody something and not expect something in return. That's just my definition of it. Now, I help the kids in the community with the gym and things of that nature. I just want to give you an example of what I'm talking about. I walk into the gym. They had an amateur show. And I walk in, and the young lady at the table says, oh, Wyatt, that's cool. Yeah, okay. I'm reaching in my pocket to pay the $15. And the first thing out of her mouth is, Wyatt, you don't have to pay to come in here, man. All what you help us do and blah, 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 all that old shit. I enjoy giving back like that. So she says, you don't have to pay. I said, I know, but hey, this is what I do to support. So I give the lady $100 and I go up to my booth to watch the amateurs fight. Now, we built booths in the gym, 2 really nice booths, one Jamonte Clark, one Team Warren. We did it up. So I go up to my booth and I was like, here, keep the 100. Just make sure I get a pizza sent up to the booth. And I took a slice. Eventually it came. Pizza came over. I took a slice and then I made sure the kids who were in the gym or, who were watching had some pizza. I didn't even really want it. But that's support. That's shit that I don't even talk about. This is the first time I've ever mentioned it in public. But that's support. When I go to a restaurant that I want to support, I don't go in there and be like, hey, I'm going to try y'all food out. I'm coming to try y'all food and shit. Give me one of everything on the menu and I'll let you know what I like. And if I like y'all shit, I'll come back again. But just give me the food and then we'll work, if I come back, then I'll pay that time. But to be honest with you, man, people who know what support truly is are those that have had to, what real support is because you need it. You need it. Hey, happy Monday, Brenda Early. It's just a different language that entrepreneurs use. We speak a different language. I'm sorry. Some people may get what I'm saying. A majority of you know what I'm talking about. Freebie is just not a word. Freebies it's not it. Hold on. My sister is on here, Crystal Smith. She says, black folks only want to support if they can get a discount of some sort. That's the opposite of support. Yeah, well, that's give and give. That's give and give. I had a couple people that I was supporting when they came out with their t-shirt game. And I would always try to buy one of every color because I truly understand what support is. Like, okay, well, how many colors do you have? Green, blue, red. Okay. Give me a large in in the colors that you have. Oh, you got a white one coming out next week? Okay, I'll wait on that one and just give me what you got. That's support. And I'm not trying to get 3 for 2 and all that old shit. Give me if I get 3, can I get 3 of them and then get the third one? If I buy 2, can I get a third one? All that old goofy shit, man. That's not support. If anything, pay extra. That's support. Hold on one second. Jenny Hood says she's been calling me. I'm sorry about that, Jenny. Reach out after the show. I've been very busy. I was in and out of town. I had a lot going on. You know, Jamonte Clark fought over the weekend. Congratulations to him. He had a tough fight over the weekend in Vegas. Shout out to him, his team, his mom, his dad, Real Deal Boxing Gym, and Coach Cunningham and all those guys that came out and supported. That helped Jamonte. And those that came out and supported, we appreciate it. Jamonte's a resurrection, he calls it. He had a tough fight before this one, and now he's bouncing back. Hey, I always respect a person that can fall. It's how you get up. It's how you attack the comeback. For me, I've fallen so many times, man. It's all about the comeback. It's all about now what's next. I failed at something. I got hit. I got hurt at something. What do I do now? How can I bounce back? What's my next move? Sorry, I was reading the message at the same time. AP is in the building. What's good, bro? He says, come on, Wyatt. You know we got them cousins that come on to the party and don't bring shit. Yeah, them the ones that be like, I'm coming. What you want me to bring? You know, you always got the weak family members that always bring the fucking drinks, right? And they bring 1 2-liter, a 99-cent. Well, not today. A 2-liter costs $2 now. But you got that one person that always want to bring the drinks, and they'll bring 1 2-liter. And they be the first in line, and they eat the most shit. They want to know what everybody fixed, what they cook. Oh, this shit, the greens is good. Nigga, you brought 1 Pepsi. 1 Pepsi. And you in line and going back up there again. Y'all know I ain't lying. Y'all know we all got one of those. All right, so, yeah, the weekend was good for me. Shout out to little Duke Reagan. Got him a unanimous decision. Also, he fought out there. Shout out to him and his family. Mary Walker. Leave with plates. Yes, they do. What's up, Wayne the Travel Guy? They leave with a plate. Yeah. And the plate don't be flat. It have aluminum foil be all the way up and shit. Look like they pop popcorn in it. Remember the aluminum foil popcorn? They had shit, bread, all type of shit all in there. Yeah. We all know those folks. Got a few of them myself. But true meaning of support, y'all. We got to get to it. Tiffany Daniels is in the building. Drop Squad 52 is in the building. What's good with y'all, man? What's good? Took off on Friday because I had to go to the gym. And then got right out the gym and left and went out of town and did what I do. But had an opportunity to look at a little bit of the sparring. You know, we have a fight card coming up this weekend in Covington, Kentucky, where we have some local guys, up-and-coming guys. It is the New Era Boxing Champs, fueled by Wyatt. And it's at the Hit Sports Complex this weekend, Easter weekend. Got a special guest coming in the building that night, starring the one and only Boubacar Silla. He is back, y'all. Cincinnati's very own. And he's going for win number 12, I believe. I believe he's 11-0. He's going for 12-0. He has a tough opponent coming off of a layoff. And it's going to be a great show. And like I said, special guests will be in the building. And you better get your tickets now. Tickets start at $30. We have a special kid ticket, and that ticket is, I believe, $15 for 12 and under. And that's a youth ticket. And don't be coming in there on your knees and shit talking about some, like Roscoe from Martin and shit, old heads. Y'all know who I'm talking about, with snot and shit coming out your nose talking about, give me one of them, give me one of them youth tickets. No. I don't give a damn if you 15, if you 12 and you look 25, you got to pay full price. So y'all better dress them kids like they, damn it, like they kids. I don't want no kids coming in there looking like they 25, 12 going on 26. You know, some of y'all want to dress these kids up like they straight rappers and thugged out and they run in the streets. It's too much of that shit. If they 12, make them look 12. You better get them some Spider-Man shoes or some shit, some Incredible Hulks or something. You better let these kids be kids. Stop letting them grow up so damn fast. Have you seen what's going on in our city? Have you seen what's going on in Cincinnati? Yeah, y'all know I did a little expo on my man Pup, little Pup that got shot up. The little brother who grandmother come on the show. Shout out to her. Yeah, well, they caught her his killers. Oh, yeah, of course. Nobody wants to talk about that bullshit now, do they? Nobody wants to talk about that. Y'all ready to talk about the man? You ready to talk about information you know absolutely nothing about. You don't know shit about what happened in Cincinnati today, but you got all these pure assumptions of how the police that just shot this man who was wanted for murder. So that means he killed another motherfucker. You rather talk about why the police shot this man than to talk about 7 individuals that have been indicted in your own city within the last 4 days. Wow. Why is that not a conversation? Because it might contradict your whole point of what's going on out here in these streets. Let's be real. Let's be honest. Let's just be honest. I even heard on the radio, I think it was Friday. Was I still in town? Friday or Thursday. I heard on the radio at a certain time. I heard about, who was it? There was a situation where I heard the host talking about, yeah, okay, Glenn, you're absolutely right. Why wouldn't you want to talk about the killer? But you got to put it in proper perspective. You don't think those teenagers that killed Lil Pup were killers? You don't think that's worthy of a conversation? You don't think it's worthy of a conversation when you have a 13-year-old, a 14-year-old, a 16-year-old, and an 18-year-old in a stolen car and shoot openly in a Family Dollar? That's not worthy of a conversation? Those are killers. Those are killers. You don't think that's supposed to be talked about? Yeah, I tell y'all what. See, this is the type of bullshit that pisses me off when people try to act like that the conversation is right. What pisses me off is we give so much energy to all the wrong things. I'm not saying it's wrong to talk about the shooting of the cop, but we need to give the other stuff the same energy. We don't do that. We don't do that. And if you look at what's going on in your city, it's more of what we don't talk about that's happening than what you talk about every once in a while when it does happen. That's off balance. That don't make shit. That don't make sense. That makes absolutely no sense. That's picking and choosing your shots. That's what bullies do. It makes no sense. So I want y'all to do this. Everybody should reach out to Pup's grandmother who came on this show crying, and y'all should give her a hug and tell her, hey, I'm glad they found the guys who killed your grandson. I'm glad. I'm glad justice will be served. But you're talking about 7 indictments and 7 murders of kids out here shooting and killing, and it's been 7 indictments in the last 4 days. And one police shooting happens because they're pursuing a murder suspect who runs out of a building with a gun, and then we got to question if the man really ran after the police with the gun, pointed the gun. Y'all rather have these deep down discussions because they haven't investigated the police officers and see what their track record is yet. I heard it on E-Man's show. That was the most ridiculous thing I've heard in my life. But I get it. That's why I'm not going to step in that muddy water. I get it. If you can't talk about reality, you create all this other shit so you will have a conversation about it. I can't. I don't have the energy for shit like that. I'm so far from fried. I'm far from fried. So I can't have a real discussion with fraudulent shit. I just can't. That's just me. That's why I probably won't last in this shit, y'all. I can't last at this. I don't have that type of buildup in me. I really don't. No, it wasn't. See, that's what I'm saying. Don't stop. Let's stop saying that, Glenn. Stop saying probably. We can't live off probablys. That's what happened when we get to voting and shit. See, if we get this man in there, he'll probably do what needs to be done. Probablys don't do shit. Probablys just get you on the edge and make you think. But no, to give you the right information, Glenn, it's not. One young man got indicted this weekend because of some shit he did back in June. He shot a young man in June. The guy survived. And then he passed away in December because of his injuries that happened in June. So now they come with a murder indictment. That's not no probably. This is the shit that's going on out here. We got to make it not cool to be one of them kids. And I understand this is not the type of conversation that gets traction. If I ain't talking about somebody doing some old stupid shit out here, or somebody, I'm trying to justify some shit, or if I ain't on the majority's team, then it goes nowhere. And exactly, DC, I'm not saying that this is black on black crime. I gave my word as a man on this conversation that I would never call it black on black crime. I won't do that. It is crime. It's just crime, right? Right? But that's just as much crime as any other crime, but we don't focus on it. But how is it that we always want to focus on somebody getting killed and then it's a black, we victim. It's black when you want it conveniently to be black. When it needs to fit a certain category or a certain narrative, that's when it's black. I understand. I get it, man. I get it. I understand. I know who need that energy. I know who need it. But I tell you what, them same folks that be on this bullshit like this, them same folks that be on that bullshit, you only going to wake up when you become a victim. When you become a victim, that's when you're going to wake up to what's really going on out here. I feel sorry for the moms and dads that have to face this type of shit that's going on. Because not only do they have to face reality of what's going on, they also have to hear people saying certain things that most of the time have no reality to what the real shit is going on and what happened in that particular case. It's all speculation. And every conversation I've ever had with a mother or a father, they always say the media reported it wrong. They don't even tell the truth. They don't even tell the truth. Well, I will. And y'all, I know it's not the most favorable thing to do. Bobby Kennedy, you're right. I was going to speak on that. And here, let me read it. Get those tools, but I'm going to do what I do, baby. Bobby Kennedy just took my thunder, but I'm going to let him take it, okay? I'm going to go where he want me to go. He said, what about that idiot correction officer who got busted bringing weed into the Justice Center? Dumbass. You're absolutely right, bro. I got two things to talk about today, and that's one of them. Isn't that the most craziest thing in the world? I was going to put his mugshot up here and all that old shit, but I'm not going to do that. Y'all seen him on the news. This dude been on the job for 6 months. And here's what I don't like, though. Sheriff come on here talking about how, I get it. The sheriff saying what she's saying. She's supposed to say all of that. But damn, you got it sounding like dude was lightweight Tony Montana up in the joint. Put him on there like he was Tony Montana. Bro, been in there 6 months. He been on the job for 6 months. Moving weight. He's selling weed in the joint by the ounce. Now, that's some gangster shit. He got caught, but I'm just saying, it takes some balls to do some shit like that. Let me tell you, they said they found 12 balled up ounces separately packaged. So he can get a trafficking charge for that. We'll get into the specifics a little bit later. But they put it on the screen, on the TV. He had 12 separate bagged up ounces of weed he's serving in the joint. Or bringing it in for someone, let's just say that. But he's still going to catch the trafficking charge. Nah, Glenn, I can't do that, bro. I'm not going to put the brother's face up on the screen, man. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to slow down on some of that type of shit. Kenneth Stevens says, Black lives only matter when it's someone close to you. Not for me, though. I see what you're saying, K. I see what you're saying, Kevin Stevens. I see what you're saying. But for me, I sacrifice and come on here and talk about this shit, and I get crucified. I get drugged for saying some of the shit that I say, quite honestly. But somebody needs to say it. Someone needs to say it. I'm going to finish my point here in a second. I just want to catch up with some of these comments. How y'all doing? Oh, this is Fame. He says, how y'all doing today? What's the Chaos Agents fake mad about? Fame still loves the Chaos Agents. I love the kids more. How y'all doing today? What the Chaos Agents fake mad about? Fame still love the Chaos Agents. I love the kids more. I feel you on that. They always mad about something. You're absolutely right. Anthony Prosser says 12 ounces of weed. Yeah, they were bagged up separate, bro. Now, I was almost thinking like he must be a kingpin. Then I was like, hold up. He had 12 O's. Let me do the math. Carry the 1 over to the 2, 6, 5. Okay, he didn't really have a pound of weed yet. I don't think so. If I do my math correctly, I think 16 O's is a pound, right? 16 ounces is a pound. I think. I wouldn't really know. I'm guessing. But if my guess is right, he didn't really have a pound going through there yet, so he wasn't really moving no weight. So, Sheriff, get off his back. Cut him some slack. It ain't no big deal. It's only weed. It's only weed. And not to mention, the brother was the president of his graduation class of the academy. The fuck? So you know his troop. Y'all better watch every last one of them. You're only as good as your leadership. If the leader is rotten, the crew is rotten. Yeah, he was the president of that class in the sheriff division when they were going through basic training and all the schooling. They found cell phones in there. Dude was bringing it. He was bringing it in. Now, I don't know if it's true because you know all these media reports, you can't believe everything. You know, the police they just made up that dude, rushed him with a gun, the murder suspect. That's probably made up because like E-Man said, they not running investigations of the police officers that were involved in that shooting. They ain't done that yet. Oh, man. So I'm a murder suspect. I had to write in on that. Murder suspect. Murder suspect. Run out of a house. They have a warrant for his arrest. He runs out of a house with a gun. They catch up with him over in Kentucky. You know what I hear people saying? I was reading it. I heard people saying, well, what is Cincinnati police even doing over in Kentucky? Like, finding some shit to be chaotic about. Like, the police in Cincinnati and the Covington police work together. There's this thing, a radio. Hey, we have a suspect on the loose. He's heading your way. We need to work into your jurisdiction. And that's how they get over there. That's how it happens. It was a pursuit. But when you're just trying to find some shit to be mad at, you sound ridiculous by coming up with what was Cincinnati police even doing in Covington? Yeah, that's what that sound like to me. Yeah, jeez. Drop 52 from California. I'm going to need my glasses. I'm going to need my tools for this one. It's fairly long. He says crime and the economy are the two things that black Democrats, here we go, that black Democrats point to their remorse. Black women in Philadelphia are wanted something done about gun violence and carjacking in the city by repeat offenders. Well, I hear you, bro. I hear you. But trust and believe, the only people you ever gonna hear from are victims. 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 And I ain't even come on here for this today. E-Man burned me up so much, man. I had to make comments. I'm like, okay, I'm falling into the trick bag. I'm falling into the bullshit that's supposed to steer me in. Yeah, I get it now. I'm like, all right, I'm getting a hold of this radio podcast shit. I get it. I get it. It only took me 2 years and a few months. I get it. I've been schooled, y'all. I'm a slow leak. I've been schooled. It's never supposed to really make sense. It's just supposed to stay alive. Big Don out of California. That's my buddy, y'all. Big Don out of California. He said I had more than 12 ounces in the 7th grade. Yeah, bro. Speak for yourself, though, Big Don. Speak for yourself. That's my dude. Don had me at his home in California. He know I was out there. I was picking up a car. I bought my car. I bought a nice car out in Cali. And Big Don and his family, his beautiful family, was gracious enough to allow me to, he host me, and they allowed me to see. He took me around like some of the places that I definitely would have needed a pass for, you know, like Compton. Like I actually went to Compton. You know me, I told y'all when I go to different cities, I got to go to the hood. Well, you know, Big Don is, you know, they know him in Compton. That's Big Don. So he was kind enough to hold my hand through Compton. Yeah, I ain't that type of dude. Like, I'm not about to just walk up on a set like I'm big and bad and can get shit done. They will erase your ass in Compton. So, Big Don, I want to say thank you to you right here. Right here. Once again, it's been a few years now, but thank you for allowing me to visit LA and you hold my hand through Compton. It's some dudes on here right now like, oh, listen to Wyatt. He had to have his hand held. Yeah, okay. You walk through that blue and that red without nobody co-signing or checking your ass in. Try to do it. See what happens. You one probably ain't from the streets. You can't think that way. You ain't from the streets. You might think you can talk that way. Or you might think you better get away with that shit. But street dudes know they got to check in. Even street dudes got to check in. You know, you just not going to walk up in Compton and they not know. Nah, that ain't how it go. Yeah, I hope E-Man call in too. That would be interesting. Because what he was trying to convince me of is, why didn't they show the history of the police officers like they're talking about the history of the man that was on the run? And the only thing that they said about the man that was on the run is he was wanted for a murder. They didn't get into his background or his arrest records. They didn't say that. They're talking about the reason why he has an open warrant, and it's for murder. And now on the radio, it's going to go in the radio as being an all points bulletin or whatever the shit they say. And it's going to go down as our suspect is on the run, armed and dangerous. Armed and dangerous. You're on the run for murder. You're going in the system as armed and dangerous. And when they catch up with you, you can't run towards them with a gun. And I can't believe there's people trying to justify that shit or trying to make them excuses. And you're saying things like, well, why haven't they run an investigation on the police officers and seen how many complaints they had up against them? Now, you do realize that is going to come up. Like, you want them to do that on the street, like right now? You want them to run an evaluation and say, hey, officer ain't shit. You got 16 complaints about you pending from 2013 up to currently. You think they do that in the middle of the street? They didn't talk about the arrest record of the gentleman that was shot and killed. They just said the reason why they were in pursuit was because he had an open warrant for a murder. That's a whole different approach. That's a whole different approach. So Glenn says, armed and dangerous, just like the white dude in the semi on 75 who kidnapped his wife from Georgia. Yeah, and if he run into the wrong situation, he'll be dead too. I think y'all need to do the numbers. See, I do numbers. I don't take videos and clips, and I don't get brainwashed by narratives. And when people send shit, I don't let that lead me. I look at the end of, see, I'm a numbers dude. I'm a numbers dude. Numbers tell me the truth. And at the end of the year, let's just compare how many police shootings there are. Let's just compare how many police shooters total there are in the United States of America. And then just do the numbers. Just see how many white guys and white people was shot by the police. I'm trying to tell y'all, stop. Look, I believe that police brutality happens. I believe that unnecessary shootings happen. I believe that it all can be handled well, differently, a lot differently. But don't make it seem like that they only shooting and killing us, because that's not what it is. There's bad police officers out there. And there's great ones. But when you sit back and try to say they doing this to us, and us specifically, I can't buy that brand. I can't buy that brand. And you know what's crazy? You're the same ones that won't say shit about, you care so much about black men, but you're not saying shit or doing anything about the black men that are being murdered in your own city. You would rather focus in on this incident that happened over in Kentucky versus these young black men that are in our cities getting indicted for murders. And they're not murdering little Tommy out in Mason. They're not murdering little Ricky over in Indian Hill. These are shootings going on that we all can be in the traffic of that line of fire. That bullet at Family Dollar had nobody's name on it, but it hit Pup. It hit Pup. It killed a young man because we had 4 juveniles, 1 semi-adult, who had no concern for anybody else's life. They're in a stolen car. And they shoot into a crowded store. That could have been my son. It could have been my daughter. It could have been my aunt. It could have been your daughter, your son. It could have been anybody that's close to you. But since it's not, oh well, let's wait for the next story. Seven people indicted in the last 4 days for murder, stemming all the way back to June of last year. Shit that y'all didn't talk about back then. So when an indictment come for murder, it don't matter to you because you didn't focus on it anyway. You was focused on something else. I get it. So what? I'm going to keep on talking my shit. I'm going to keep on talking it till it's just me and the two that want to listen again. But like, I'm not going to sit here and talk about Will Smith every fucking day. I'm not going to sit up here and be the Jerry Springer show for y'all asses either. I did talk about it, Glenn. Maybe you wasn't here that show. I talked about it. I certainly did. I'm the only one that was saying, say his name. I'm the only one. And there's people on here that can pretty much confirm that. They can confirm that I was the one that was saying stuff about it. And then what happened is I became a hater because I was bringing it to the light and saying, nobody's talking about this stuff. Remember that? Remember when I was saying that and people was like thinking I was hating on other shows or thinking I was hating on other people. And I was like, why aren't we talking about this shit? The only way we're going to solve certain problems is we got to have these discussions. Look, I'm not against my folks. I'm just against what we was doing. It makes absolutely no sense. What's good, Alex? Hey, I got a caller on the line. They could bring me. Maybe they could tell me something, cuss me out, tell me something I don't know. Good evening, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
This is your West Coast connection.
Hey.
The one and only.
Hey.
Drop Squad 52, also known as the Black Not Democrat. What up, Wyatt-Live?
Hey, what's going on with you, Drop? What's happening, man?
Man, your show, it is pretty good so far. Pretty good. These are issues, Wyatt, that are going to cost the Democrats in November to lose possibly over 50 seats. And it's the number one issue or the number two issue, one and two. You can switch these two issues in the Black community with Black Democrats, and that is crime and the economy. Wyatt, I don't care what Glenn is saying, because he is the chaos agent you need to expose. Keep reading his comments and expose him, Wyatt. You cannot turn away from the crime that has been happening in this country over the last couple of years. It is, Trump tried to put it under control. You remember, Wyatt, he was offering federal dollars to go get some of these state gun offenders and hit them with federal cases. I don't even want to go on because I got triggered by your show. Because Wyatt, if you remember, last year, me and you did a podcast on my podcast, the Black Not Democrat podcast. You remember that, don't you, Wyatt?
I remember. I remember.
And people were giving you hell about that topic, about crime in the Black community. And I heard you earlier say you don't like using Black on Black crime.
I don't.
But I will. And that is a huge issue that has been avoided over like the last 6 to 8 months. They haven't been showing it quite as much as they were before because it became an issue with defund the police. But now today, President Biden was in the Rose Garden talking about ghost guns and the new federal laws related to ghost guns. And he said, I've always said, it ain't defund the police, it's fund the police. And Wyatt, this man had the audacity to tell Democrat mayors, Democrat prosecutors in these cities to use money from COVID relief, $350 billion. He emphasized $350 billion. Use that money to stop this crime, to shut down, because Wyatt, it's a major issue. And like you said, the victims, these are Black people that are the victims of these crimes. And it is not being covered enough. So Wyatt-Live, you keep doing what you're doing, my brother. You keep exposing it, and you keep taking the arrows from people like Glenn. And again, I don't understand what his motive is. He lives in a nice, upper middle class community where most of his neighbors are white. And I don't know what he's talking about. He needs to go to the Black man, Wyatt, bro. Hey, that's really all I got. I just wanted to call and co-sign for you out here on the West Coast, because I don't live in the hood per se out here in California, but I'm right up the freeway from it. And like you were saying, how you had to get an escort in certain communities, that's no joke. That's real. That's 100% real.
Yeah, it is.
Because
these guys don't know that because they only be in their city. And they understand, I'm not saying that they can get a pass in their own city. You can probably get away with it because you have familiarity and you might happen to know a motherfucker in the community. But when you go to another city, if you go in the hood or if you want to visit your, certain areas that have been popular, that are popular, Compton's a popular city in California. Okay. Right. And, I wanted to go, and it took me I had to get a hall pass. Bottom line.
That's for sure, Wyatt.
Bottom line. And the ones that don't understand it.
But that's your respect. That's your respect for the hood.
That's just me knowing better, too.
That's all it is.
Yeah, of course. But
here's Wyatt, again, man, congratulations on your client did well in the boxing ring in Vegas.
Yeah.
I hope everything worked out good for you. But stay on this topic, Wyatt. I know you don't talk a lot of politics, but this is an election year. And I was reading an article from Politico magazine. It's posted on Twitter on my timeline. And I'm telling you, Wyatt, the number one and number two issues with Democrats, and mainly Black Democrats, because they are always the ones that are most affected by anything that happens in this country. And they say the number one thing, Wyatt, is this freaking crime with these repeat offenders being released back into the community. Because Tupac said it well. Tupac said, what do y'all think? Y'all think we like the criminals? We got to live with them. It'd be 80, 40, 50 criminals up in the projects. Shit, we want protection too, unquote. I probably screwed it up, but he's got a point. Why, for some reason, when they let these people out, they putting it right back in the black communities.
Well,
it ain't right.
well, let me say something about that. You mind? And stay on with me. You might want to have something to say about my point of that. It's not even once they go to the penitentiary, bro. It's prior cases. Things are going on right now where guys are being let out of jail with pending gun charges, and they're being dropped right back into the community that they came from with these pending charges. And now they got to get out there and maybe make shit right, make it right for them so people won't show up for court. And judges, and people don't believe it, but I happened to hear somebody Friday, I believe, on the radio, the host on the radio show finally came out and said, hey, man, we got to do something about these Democratic judges are doing something different, man. We got to do something about it because it's getting out of hand. And I told people 6 or 7 months ago that it's not here yet. It's in California. It's because of my buddy Big Don work out there. He's in California, and I hear what's going on and I watch what's going on. And he tells me like, hey, bro, they letting people out of jail left and right out here, bro. Left and right, and it's going right back into the community. Now, why do you think this is why I ask all the gun violence that's going on in a small circle? Because listen, let's get it straight, folks, before y'all start bitching and complaining at me for what I know is real. I'm not here to try to tell you that all black people commit crimes. That's ignorant. That sounds ridiculous. What I'm saying is that same small percentile that's involved, it's a revolving door in those areas that affect us all. Regardless if you want to say it affects you or not, it affects us all. It don't affect me to the point where I feel embarrassed because somebody like me did something. It affects us economically. You got more people getting hurt that don't need to be hurt. They're out on the streets like the 18-year-old who caught the gun charge, and the judge gave him an OR bond, and he went right back in the community, and 4 people ended up in the hospital. A 6-year-old, an 8-year-old, an 18-year-old, and a 19-year-old. These guys ended up in the hospital because when they let this guy out of jail, they didn't think he was going to go play with guns again. He went out, and now he had to step into that same environment that he came from to protect himself. So he gets another gun, and what got him in there, he had to go into a gunfight with those same dudes out on the street. And innocent people got hit by those bullets. That shit is happening.
Why, are you talking about the shooting that happened in Sacramento a few days ago?
No, I'm talking about, I don't have to go 3,400 miles.
It sounds like you were talking about that case. Why?
Man, there's hundreds of those cases going on, bro. Just people don't talk about it. It's not on the radar. That, you know what? I hear more, and I'm not trying to be funny on you, Drop, but I listen to different shows all over the place. And bro, I got one show that I listen to, and I hear him talk about, he says the word Trump out of his mouth more than I hear anywhere, to be honest with you. But he talks about him. It's like the broken, okay, what do you call a woman who constantly talks about her ex-boyfriend? She's not over him. Something's going on. She's not over him, right? But what if you got a new man? If you got a new man and he's everything.
Hey, worried about that ex.
Exactly. If you got a new boyfriend, a new man, why you shouldn't even be talking about. You should talk about all the great things your man, your guy is doing. You don't even have to focus in on the other guy. Let's talk about what your man is doing. You see what I'm saying? So don't talk about the old president. Let's talk about what the new one is doing so great. That's who you voted for. That's who you wanted. And I'm not mad if you can come up with 2 or 3 things, maybe 1 or 2 things that he's done for you. I don't have a problem. I would love it. But stop talking about that dude. He's the ex. He's the ex. He's not calling any shots.
You got it. Hey, Wyatt, you on point. And again, like I said, this shooting that happened in Sacramento, California, about a week ago, 12 people got shot and 6 were killed. And of course, the victims look just like us. And one of the guys, he was caught up in the system. I don't know if he got released early or early parole, but again, Wyatt, it's starting to really affect the black community because
It's
sometimes
affecting
you
all
lock people up
communities.
to keep them away from the quote unquote rivals, so you don't have more murders.
I understand, but drop that is affecting
Wyatt,
that is
again, like
that
I
is
said,
that
bro,
is
you keep doing what
affecting
you're doing.
those shootings. I don't care what color the kid is. I don't care what color who did it. Those shootings affect everyone, from security risks to everything, bro. All shootings affect everybody. The guy that shot at Kroger's, I don't care if he's a white dude or a black guy. It doesn't matter to me. We got to figure out a way to get this shit to stop. But what I don't like is the hypocrisy where when certain things happen, the other things don't get discussed. I mean,
Exactly.
it's all the same thing.
Exactly.
It don't have a color. But it's funny how when it does have a color, we got to put it in a certain narrative. The crime has to stop. And the only way you're going to stop the crime is you got to have the right policies in place. Doesn't matter what color the people are.
You're right. Hey, Wyatt, again, bro, you 100%, we on the same page when it comes to this issue. And like I said, in spite of people like Glenn, he is the chaos agent, because I swear to you, Wyatt, that he's a lone voice when it comes to this topic. And it's probably because, again, he don't live in it every day.
Well,
I don't live in it every day, but I know some people who are in it every day. And it is different when you're in it every day. You hear about Ray Ray that shot 4 people just got out. It changes the atmosphere in the community when you know, because you know why in the community, they know who the bad boys are. They know who they are. And when the word get out that he got arrested by the cops, there's a sigh of relief in the community. But then the word gets out that he back out again, then people start getting nervous and tight again. Now, Wyatt, you know I'm saying the truth. You know it's a fact because you from these streets. At least back in the day, whenever it was, you know that's how it works. So again, Wyatt, thank you for taking my call, brother. And whenever I tune in, I got to see how your show is flowing. And today, it's got the right flow. So I'm going to hold on, I'm going to hang on, I'm going to keep listening, dropping my little gems in the YouTube chat, and just sit back and enjoy the show. And I hope Glenn can find the courage to call in and explain why he keeps pushing back on what you're trying to present to the community.
Hold on. I can't let you go on that. I don't think Glenn pushes back. I think what he does is he wants me to give a rebuttal. He kind of wants me to explain why I say what I say. Like when he says, so like when I said we want to talk about the police officer that shot the man over in Kentucky today, and it was basically a pursuit of a warrant. A warrant for a murder suspect. And then he said,
that's a whole different warrant right there.
It is.
Tell that man he don't know what he's talking about.
It is, however, you got to understand, he wasn't necessarily, now this might sound like I'm defending the brother, but I'm not. I'm just being honest, and I'm being practical in my thoughts. He was just saying, you don't think it's fair for us to have a conversation about the police officers who shot the man? Yes, I think it's very fair that a research go down on these police officers that were involved in the shooting. But you don't do that in the middle of the street. You have an investigation on the crime scene of what happened. But then you go into whenever there's those police officers are on leave right now, paid leave right now, anybody that fired their weapon. So let's not douse fire on our people acting like these cops did something wrong when we don't know the story yet. We just know what's been reported. But instead of kind of taking it and letting some time, trying to let some things be figured out, we go straight to the attack of, well, if this would happen, and it's that same shit that gets me. It gets under my skin a little bit because they said something about the guy who has the warrant. I think that's relevant in the conversation, like right now. Okay, the reason why we was chasing this dude is because he had an open warrant for a murder. That's relevant. That's not talking about his whole rap sheet, if he has one. It had nothing to do with it. But what this guy was doing was trying to make it sound like we were just trying to protect the police, and they not looking at the background. We don't know how many complaints these police officers have on them. That's what we talking about right now. You talk.
Okay, Wyatt. See, again, I hear what you said about Glenn, but he a freaking chaos agent, okay? Because again, if you don't know anything about law enforcement and you read these headlines from the lamestream media, the willing accomplices of the Democrat Party, they frame these stories, the headline, to get reaction from people like Glenn, which is to just cause chaos. Because again, Wyatt, your expertise is always on point when it comes to law enforcement and the court. Because people think it's when you're going to serve a warrant on a violent murder suspect who used weapons in the committing of a crime of murder, you just don't send Detective Williams and Patrolman Brown to go knock on the door. No, you got to send in special unit task force. Tell them, Wyatt, please. But again, I hope Glenn can call in and explain himself to probably give you an opportunity to offer more clarity so he won't continue to cause chaos on the Wyatt-Live show.
Let me ask you this.
Thanks for taking my call, Wyatt, and I'm going to keep listening. And shout out to everybody in Cincinnati. Y'all be safe in them streets. Drop Squad 52 dropping silence to anyone who wants to catch it. Peace out.
Peace out to you, man. That's Drop from California. He has his different flows. Him and Glenn have this thing. They go at it. I'm trying to stay out of that. I don't even want to be a mediator in it. I'll let them do what they do. Hopefully maybe Drop will have a Spaces tonight. You can catch, what is it, on Twitter or something? Y'all can catch his Twitter, and Glenn and Drop are like rec for me. Like their recreation, like listening to them go back and forth is kind of funny. It's fun. It's a fun thing. I get a little worn out by some of those conversations because those guys are political guys, man. Both of them have their angles. Both of them do what they do politically, and they bring politics to everything. And I'm just not cut like that. I'm more of a, well, what do I do to fix this problem? I'm either going to patch a hole in the inner tube or, damn it, I'm going to buy a whole nother inner tube. I'm a problem solver. I'm not sitting back talking about, remember in 72 when we caught a flat and shit. I'm just not that dude. It's about moving on and how do I get past what happened? What do I do? What's next? How do I fix it? How do I fix it? What's the next move? How do I get better? How do my children get better than me? Excuse me. Sorry, I had an important text message come through. How do I get better? How do I become self-dependent? How do I get to the point where I don't have to listen to a boss? I don't use the word boss, but it's a familiar term. How do I become self-sufficient? That's what I concentrate. Every day I try to figure out a way to get better. That's just me. I'm not concerned with what anybody else is doing. I'm not concerned of their thought processes unless it affects me. So I'm done with the getting frustrated with people that want to think a certain way when certain things are brought to the table. I'm not going to do that. You drive yourself crazy. I had a buddy tell me that today. You're going to drive yourself crazy thinking about how people feel about shit. Glenn said, was that for me, Glenn? You said you confused me with Emmanuel. I don't think I said you said that. I think I said what I said with the Emmanuel situation. He was saying that they should be looking for, they should be talking about how many complaints and shit that the officers have had against them that were involved in the shooting. And that will come up. I know the process. It will come up. Internal affairs and everybody else will look at the situation, and they do weigh all of that. They're going to look at body cams. They're going to look at any footage in the streets that were on telephone poles. All that shit is coming up. It's coming. But you got to understand, a fugitive squad hit the house first where he ran from. A fugitive squad. That's a little bit different than the donut guy down the street sitting to patrol, the area. That's a little bit different. This is a fugitive squad. So you best believe they're going to have video. They're going to have a situation set up where they're going to be able to go into court or wherever, into internal affairs, and they're going to be able to show what needs to be shown. And if there's foul play going on there, then, hey, they're going to have to deal with it. But you got two different police, two different police companies involved here. Covington Police over in Kentucky, and Cincinnati Police from over here in Ohio. But, I just got a little beside myself a little bit when somebody said, well, why don't they just check and see how many complaints these police officers have? And I'm like, that's, eventually that'll happen. But why are you focusing in on that right now? You trying to say it was off balance in the conversation? You want them to zone in, you villainize, you making the cops the villain already when you don't even know the circumstance. How about that same individual didn't even ask. You didn't even say, like, I wonder who he killed. It didn't even enter your mind. You ready to attack the other people. But not once did you ask, I wonder who the victim was in the murder. Never entered your mind. Nobody even mentioned it. Nobody typed it. No one said anything. You don't know if it was another dude. You don't know if it was a grandmother. We don't know. But it's cool. Glenn said, I bet Drop got a white girlfriend. See how y'all do? See how y'all do? I thought love didn't matter. I thought color didn't matter when it came to love. See how y'all do, man? Y'all shoot shade at each other. That's what I'm saying. Now, soon as a sister come out here with a white dude, y'all gonna be like, oh, well, see, love don't have no color. Love is love. These are the same dudes that say shit like that type on here, love is love. Consistency. Consistency tells who you really are and how true things really are in your heart. Consistency. I mean, I'm just saying. Let me see. There's Cleopatra Jones. What's good? Anthony AP says, Drop is a California version of Tim Scott. There y'all go. There y'all go. Then what the hell am I? I guess I am too. I don't agree with everything that Drop says. Trust me, it's not that. I let everybody come on and say whatever they have to say. And just because they say what they say don't necessarily mean, or they may agree with me, that don't necessarily mean I agree with everything they say. That's fair, isn't it? That's a fair statement. There's people on here that I agree with the things that they say sometimes, and they totally disagree with what I say. So, I mean, it happens. It happens. DC, what's good with you, brother? Now I know you input it. Like, you're engaged in a lot of different shows. I see you and I read some of your comments, and I think that you're very, very fair. I think you're very, very fair. I really do. And I'm not trying to say that Drop and Glenn aren't really fair. I just think they stand on their circles, both of them. They're strong personality guys. They're just strong personality guys. And, I just don't get into the name calling. I don't think that's cool. I know I came up with a term chaos agent, but that was a phrase for certain subjects. But to be honest with you, man, I just want us all to get along and work together so we can solve the real problem. And the real problem is what we need to handle within each other. That's what I think. I think you take care of your own house first. Let me take a call real fast. Good evening, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, it's Black Russia. Wyatt, what's up?
Black Russia, what's good with you, brother?
Hey, not too much. Looking forward to the fight Saturday.
Yeah, I see you on the docket. Not the criminal docket, but the docket on there's a
this time anyway.
now
Right?
there's a list that we put on for the tickets that we sell online, and it's a dockery. And so we call it the docket. So that's what I meant by that, brother. No.
Yeah, it's all love. I'm glad to be on that particular docket.
That's what's up, man. So what's good with you, bro? What's on your mind, man?
Hey, not too much. Hey, I was listening to some of the conversation about that fugitive warrant that was getting served this morning. I read about it, and I don't. People trying to immediately dig into the police on that particular situation. I think they got to look at the circumstances. Like if you actually read what happened, they said the guy came out the back of the house with a gun pointed at the police.
Mm. Over in Kentucky?
Yeah, over in Kentucky. Where
Okay.
the state police and government police got together to serve the they had the apprehension unit going after the guy. So they went to go knock on the door. News reported that this guy was inside. He had a gun. So he came out the back door and walked to the front yard with the gun in his hand, pointing at the police. And they told him to put it down. He ain't putting it down, so they shot him. Now, I'm not automatically saying it's a clean shoot. But from what I'm reading on the news reports, like, even if these guys had 25,000 complaints, they'll probably get away with this one because this dude came out the back and started pointing at the police with his gun. And he's wanted on murder. So if he's murdering people out here in the streets and they got a warrant for him, you don't think he's going to murder the police?
Yeah. I mean, this is a no-brainer for me. I mean, of course I would be interested to know what the tape looked like, any type of body cam and all of that. Of course. I mean, it's a shooting, and I believe that we all should be protected from everybody, whether it's a police officer or whether it's the bad guys on the street. But don't be the voice. Don't be the voice of reason and try to make it seem like we already putting a spin and facing the narrative towards the big old bad police officers. That's not fair. And what happens is you getting our young brothers out here up at a roar and being very disrespectful to police officers. And that's what's causing some of this animosity on the streets. It's how we view certain people without giving them a shot, without giving them a chance. And that's what's wearing me down. Because I know a lot of brothers out here that are disrespecting one another. And I mean, people in general. When I say brothers, I mean men. You know, I'm not just talking about people in the hood and shit like that, because people have this false perception that I think, not that I think, but that I'm always talking about the black community. And I'm not. Crime is happening everywhere. And I'm telling you, I'm about a year away from the shit that I've been telling you a year ago that's going to happen. And then I'm telling you what's going to happen. All the shit that's coming across the border right now, it's going to fall in the community that's going to make us, if we're not talking about getting better now, there's going to be a huge repercussion of the shit that's coming into this country right now that we're not paying attention to. And there's a reason why people don't have you thinking about it or paying attention to it, because they don't give a damn about you. They really don't give a damn about you. And the thing is, the reason why you can't find workers anywhere right now is because look, those jobs will be filled sooner than later. Watch what happens. And if you're not pushing education to your kids, good luck getting them jobs that we used to be able to get with limited education. Good luck. Now, I said it a year ago, okay? And we're getting closer and closer to that point. We're getting closer and closer to that point. And they can call me whatever they want to call me, Black Russia, but I hope to be on this earth long enough to be able to make this make sense. And if I don't last, if God blesses me to go to heaven, then maybe somebody will take this footage that I've been saying and somebody will say, you know, Wyatt said this shit. And what I don't hear enough of is us talking about the education and what we need to do to get better. All I hear people talk about is the negative shit of what didn't already happen. Counterproductive instead of being productive. And all I can tell you is this, y'all take this with you. 64% of inmates in penitentiary are illiterate. They can't read or write. They're being failed. They're being failed not just in school. They're being failed by people that's supposed to make sure they go to school. And we're not focusing in on that. We're okay with bringing somebody to the school board that comes from a failing school system. Because she's black, that excuses it. That makes it okay. You can't criticize somebody in a black position. You can't do that. You can't do that. Sorry, Black Russia, it's your time, man. I apologize.
No, you good. I'm glad you brought up the school board situation. Look, I'm not necessarily, I don't think her name's Iretta Wright or whatever. I think that's her name. The new school board president or the superintendent now who came from Detroit. Because a lot of these decisions are going to be made at the lower level. Like, she's overseeing it, she's managing everything, yeah. But I think at the end of the day, like, the assistant superintendents on down, and the policy folks within there, the professionals, they're going to make or break the school. But you're right, the parents got to push it. And, to me, I just think this last superintendent they had, the interim TNA Amat, I don't think she was an option just because of the fact of what happened at Gabe Taye. So, they had to get somebody different. I would have liked to see the brother from Middletown. Somebody said, because he's really supposed to be doing some great positive stuff in Middletown, getting education and things turned around up there in Middletown. So that might have been a good move, but they went for the big school district resume. So, that's what they went. But, I just hate this thing that people are just automatically assuming that the police was wrong in the shooting. If you read the news reports instead of reading the headlines, you probably would have learned that this guy came out pointing guns at the police and he got a murder warrant. That to me is that's a little different than the police going to look for trouble. You know what I'm saying? They trying to take trouble off the streets.
But it was.
Go ahead.
My bad. I'm just gonna add. It was the fugitive squad that got there first, though, bro. The fugitive squad. So these guys are designed for that type of shit. This dude ran, ended up somewhere else, and came out pointing a weapon.
Right.
This is a discussion we shouldn't even be having.
Right.
These are the repercussions of your acts prior to that confrontation with the police. You're going to be treated a certain way based on things that you're facing, allegations or the evidence they have on you. They're going to treat you a certain way.
All bro had to do was just come out with his hands up. They got you, apprehension team there, but he wanted to come out with a gun. So hey, police gonna do what they gotta do in that scenario. Especially when the dude got a murder warrant on him. It's like you said, bro, this shouldn't even be a topic. This should be like in other news.
And that's why
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's why Black Rush, I don't mean to cut you off, brother. You're a king, right? But listen, I'm going to move on to this one little thing right here. Glenn asked a question right here because you made a comment about Middletown. I didn't want to go in on Middletown. That's not what I'm here to do. But he said he does have a valid point. He has a question. He says, let me start over, guys. Has the sister been in office a month? Probably not. I don't care. I had problems with it before she even got here, openly. Okay, I openly have a problem with the hire. That's just me personally, and I'll tell you why here in a second. So now Glenn follows up with a question. He asks, he says, is Middletown a great school district? I don't know. No, it's not. It's not. Each one of these candidates.
Yeah, but she didn't come from a great school district either, though.
No, she came from the worst. My point is this. My point is this. He's asking a legitimate question because he doesn't know about Middletown. And I'm telling you, from the research that I have, the three candidates all came from failing school districts. You pick the sister who's from Detroit, who comes from the school district that has the lowest graduation rate and the lowest test scores in the country. I find that to be very absurd. It's offensive to me. That's not trying to hire excellence. When you come in from messed up situations and you think she's going to be the change, no, she's going to be the same. That's what they want. And I'm sorry, I don't want it. Listen, I promise you to God, if this would have been a white man or a white woman hired out of Detroit with the same background coming from the same situation, I would be saying the same thing. And some of those people would probably be agreeing with me. But since it's the sister, they're not going to agree with me. Give her a shot. Give her a chance. I'm saying, why not give our children a chance?
Yeah, some people are just so into symbolism, Wyatt. It's ridiculous. If the three people that were the finalists, I'm gonna take your word for it because I know you do homework. Some people don't, but I know you do. If the three finalists were from the worst districts, then that's a screening problem, right? That's just bad screening on the part of the school board. But nevertheless, they choose the sister. They say, well, she only a month in, give her a chance. This one, I know this. She got 25 years of experience to go off of between Detroit Public Schools, and I think she was in Broward County, too, down there in Fort Lauderdale, which I got a buddy who teaches down there. He's actually a principal now in Fort Lauderdale in Broward County. Bro, the schools down there is like Detroit.
I know.
Listen. Yeah, right. Detroit's the worst. Broward County, Fort Lauderdale is probably right down there with them. You know what I'm saying? So I get your point. Your point's well taken.
Well, let me say this to you. Let me say this to you on that same issue. They do the same thing at all these institutional type of things. When you look at Cincinnati metropolitan housing and the housing districts across this country, they always bring in people that will bring in the least amount of problem. They always put a face in that place so there won't be much drama out on the streets. They do that on purpose. It's structured to fail. And the way you keep it down, you keep the smoke down, is to bring somebody in that nobody minds attacking. It's just like Cincinnati Public School just I think she retired and moved on or something. She left. Did she leave Cincinnati Public Schools in a good position? Did she leave Cincinnati Public School in a position where we can brag? I don't know. I doubt it.
I agree with you.
So why would you go get someone that comes from that same track record? I just don't understand it. And to be honest with you, as a man who does not have a child in Cincinnati Public School, I'd like to say this because some people will say, but Wyatt, you don't even have a child in Cincinnati Public School. Well, I pay for a lot of those kids in Cincinnati Public School because my taxes in Hamilton County, the properties that I own, if you want to take a look at some of my tax bills, look at how much money is distributed to the Cincinnati Public Schools. So I feel like I have every right to say something. Matter of fact, you should be more concerned than me. I'm only paying. It's your child in that dysfunctional system, not mine.
You're right. You're absolutely right. I mean, my kids are in Fairfield, so, but I pay Cincinnati Public Schools tax too. So I understand your frustration because you're paying for a system that is not the greatest. So, yeah, that's tough right there. But other than that, man, one more thing. Did you see this crime plan that the mayor's office put out?
I have not seen the crime plan. And can I say something real fast and then I'll let you make your point?
Yeah, go ahead.
I haven't seen the crime plan because I don't care. I don't care. I mean, to be honest with you, I'm going to say this about this administration that's in the office at City Hall right now. I find it, you cannot attack these folks. No one can attack these folks for what people are doing out here on the streets. But when I said that with the other administration in there, I was called on their team. You see what I'm saying? I was called a coon. I was called defending these guys who don't look out for us. And I'm trying to tell you that it don't matter what administration you put in there, people gonna do what they gonna do when it comes to crime. And I don't feel it's fair to blame Scotty, who's the new guy. I don't think it's fair to blame him for the shit that people are already going to do out here. No different than I think it was for who was the law and public safety dude before him? Smitherman. And everybody was talking about he wasn't at meetings, he wasn't at this. He couldn't stop crime either, and nor is Scotty going to be able to stop crime. Until I hear one of these council members say something about we need to get into the homes of these children, we need to start holding parents accountable at a young age, nothing that they say and implement will ever make a difference to me. It won't even matter to me.
No, I hear you. Just to briefly on the plan I read, it's platitudes. It's just feel good stuff. Like it ain't really addressing anything. But like you said, people if they want to pull the trigger or kill somebody, like these teenagers in Avondale did, they all about to get charged like adults. You know what I'm saying? That's a house problem. That ain't a government problem.
Yeah. Well, we always look. I come from a world where blaming someone else is always the number one thing to do. I come from a world of self-check. My grandmother raised me to self-check. I think that's a problem that I have because sometimes when shit is not even my fault, I tend to look at myself, and that could be a problem. You understand what I'm saying? Sometimes I'm so passive in situations that I take the blame for everything sometimes, and I let shit ride. Okay, and people get away with that type of, when they're dealing with somebody passive like that, they take advantage of it. And that's what I was going to say about the Will Smith thing. A lot of people are upset at me because I am on Will Smith's side on this situation, not for what he did when he slapped the man, not for what he did to take the attention away from all the hard work that movie meant, that the Serena and Venus, the King, Richard movie. I think Will did a horrible thing with all that slapping and that physical shit, okay? It was completely wrong. But what I am on Will Smith's side about is I believe Will Smith is a damaged man. I think Will Smith has a wife that is very manipulative, and he exploded, and he did what he felt he needed to do to keep shit right at home. I think Jada gets on his fucking nerve, and I don't know if there, I don't know why he won't leave. We all have our reasons. When you're manipulated as a man, I don't care how much money you have. I don't care what your prestige is in life. I don't care how much fame and fortune you may have. That a manipulation thing is totally different than prizes and gadgets and money. Just because you got a lot of money and a lot of choices in life don't mean you're making all the right choices.
Right. I agree with that. Yeah, Will Smith is dead wrong. There were so many other ways that he could have handled it. And, like you said, Jada's just been out of control to the point where she's in this man's head. So he felt like, yeah, he did that. Jada, see, he was trying to win Jada's approval in some form or fashion. He probably never had it. And, to be honest, he probably won't divorce her, because of the money. He's worth so much money, she's going to get at least half because she's been around forever. So it's kind of like he's putting up a bullshit just to, keep his bag and look at him. Like, his mind is messed up, man. Like, it's unfortunate. I'm a big Will Smith fan, but after that shit, like, I don't even look at him the same, bro.
I understand, but don't give up on him, bro. Let me tell you what it is. He's living a life that I understand. I understand how it is to be in his position sometimes. I'm not saying about the money. Look, he's a human being before he's rich and famous or any of that. He's a human being with skin and mind and all that. Before he's anything, he's that. And you just don't know. He's been with a person that's been manipulating him for many, many years. He might be an asshole to everybody outside his doors. But where he gets his level and where he gets his ass kicked is probably within his own gates, within his own home. And I could see in his eyes. There's a new video out of Jada just saying something about, I don't know if you've seen this one yet. I don't even really want to be going up into some Will and Jada shit anymore. But there's a new video showing where Will is being videotaped by his own wife in his own home, and he's not feeling it. And he's like, listen, my social media is what this is how I make our living and blah, blah, blah. And you can see the disappointment in his face. And she's videotaping him in their own home anyway. And he's trying to tell her, look, come on now. Don't, let's not do that. This is paparazzi type shit you putting me on. And I'm in my own home. You can't do, and I see a defeated man that has a lot, but I see a defeated man. Okay. He's defeated mentally. Okay.
Right.
And he's trying to do whatever he can to try to save Faith, and he's trying to save his marriage, but he's trying to save it with someone who will never be happy. And you can never be right for the wrong person. And that's the position that young man, well, not young man, shit, he's not Fresh Prince anymore. He's my age. So that's the problem that grown-ass man is in right now. And a lot of people may not understand what's going on there, but there's a manipulative domestic violence going on.
Yeah, that's mental abuse.
Absolutely. And you can tell by the responses. She turned around the camera and she says, see that little session we had with the doctor and shit, that ain't working. And it's like she blaming him for wanting to, she's blaming him for him not wanting to be videotaped and bring their shit out in the open. I can guarantee you Will really didn't want to do no red carpet shit, red table shit. He did that for her. What grown-ass man want to have a conversation with the world about his mom, his wife being shacked up with they friends? Come on, man. No man is going to do that. He did that shit for her, and she humiliated him, and she always humiliated him, and she's okay with that. That's how she takes control.
Yeah, that shit's crazy, bro. Man, I want to see Chris Rock June 9th. I can't wait.
Well, he's not going to talk about that shit. I can tell you that now. He's not going to talk about it.
Yeah, he probably, depending on what happens between now and June 9th, if he sue him up, then it might take a little bit, but we'll see. It's still open right now. Yeah, you're right. He ain't talking about it right now.
Right.
He about to get that bag about it, yeah.
Well, you know what? I think that since he didn't press charges and he didn't do anything, he'll file a lawsuit. He'll file a civil lawsuit. Will give him a few $1 million, and that'll be fair. I'll be honest with you. I don't want him to go to jail. I didn't want any of that to happen. I was totally disappointed in Will, but bruh, trust what I'm telling you. What has Jada ever done in public eye that would make you believe that Will felt like he had to defend her honor?
I don't know.
I mean, think about that. A lot of people are on me because I was like saying that type of shit on Black Russia, and they were like, see, that's a man right there. That's a man defending his wife in public. That's a man. No.
Yeah, that was some bullshit.
No, that was not a man. That was a man defending himself from his wife. That's what that shit was. You're right. It was a man defending, but it was him defending himself. He didn't want to go home with her ass that night if he wasn't going to do something stupid, do something crazy. And that's what that was.
Yeah, bro. Well, I'm going to let you go, man. I'm going to check you out soon.
All right, brother. Hey, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for the support. And we'll see you on Saturday night, man. And we got a special guest coming in the building. And I'm hoping to see you. Make sure we bump heads. We run into each other, all right?
Oh, yeah, I'm going to come find you.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you.
Yeah, y'all buy a ticket, please.
Yes, please do. Please do. I'm going to get rich. I'm just playing.
Give Richard Dodd trying,
There
right?
you go, brother. There you go. Hey, I'm just creating jobs, brother. I like to see what some of these other people that talk all this shit all day, what they doing. I'm creating jobs. That's what my main goal is to do, is to make sure that brothers get paper. That's all.
Well, hey, brothers like me support you.
I appreciate it, bro. I know you do. You was one of the first ones to buy a ticket. I seen it.
Yeah, I already know. When I see it coming in, I'm like, oh, no, I'm going. I've been feeding for some live boxing, too. And you brought it. So, like, hey, I'm there.
I appreciate you, bro. Thank you, Black Russia. You always a brother to me, man.
Yeah, for sure, bro.
Talk to you. All right, man. Bye-bye. It's Black Russia. Let's see here. Let's go to a couple comments. Drop says, Jada Pickett Smith, estimated net worth is $50 million. I didn't know it was that high. It's worth more than that because she's married to Will, and what Will has, she has. So if they're worth $350, she's worth half of that. She's worth $175, quite honestly. But yeah, her movie making or whatever, her residuals might get her a $50 million net worth. But I doubt that that's what it is on her body of work. I can't see it. I'm not trying to like knock her down. I'm just being honest. She hasn't put out enough, and Set It Off residuals are not like that. The best thing she ever played in was some of the stuff in earlier films, and they were, I don't want to say it because it's going to sound like I'm downing her, but they were lower budget films. Lower budget films, are generally, they usually don't come with a high salary. They usually give the actor or the actress an opportunity. And like, for instance, Monique hit Precious out the park. She got paid $50,000 to do that movie. Lee Daniels took Monique and paid her $50,000. You know what? I would be embarrassed if I was a producer, a movie creator, and I seen Monique and I was saying, sis, this is an opportunity for a great script. I mean, this could set not only your career up and blah, blah, blah. I would have to say this would do changes for everybody in our community, the whole nine, Monique. I have to offer her more than $50,000. I'm talking about before she played Precious. She's worth more than $50,000. You're talking about a person that had a series for, 7 or 8 years? You're talking about someone that played in major films. You're talking about somebody that was nominated for an Oscar at that time. She was worth more than $50,000, and they played her. They played her. And it's the same folks that we look up to and we think the greatest. They played her. And I keep telling y'all that Lee Daniels dude, Dame Dash was about to put hands on him for $2 million. Just look at how certain people deal with people. You'd be surprised how these high-powered names, how they out here shitting on people. Well, you know what, Glenn? Here's the thing. They played that bullshit on her, bro. I'm going to be honest with you. Picture this. Lee Daniels, Tyler Perry and them guys who signed on the back end of this movie. You got Lee Daniels, and then you got Oprah and Tyler Perry on the back end of this movie. Who don't want to get involved when you got that name power? They played her. They played her with that oh sis shit. Oh bro, oh sis. They played her with that shit. They played her with that shit. It was one of them things of, if you do this for us, down the line we got this. And Monique was that movie. Outside of the little girl that played Precious, that girl did an excellent job. But y'all know what, nobody in that movie working as hard as Monique. Nobody brought it as hard as Monique did in that character of that girl's mama. She won an Oscar for it. And they played her. And as much money as these people have, they could have compensated her more after the residuals came. They could have compensated that girl. And these are the same people that we call our heroes that played her like that. And then they gave Lee Daniels the spear to keep her away and then put her name out there bad. And then those guys threw rocks and hide their hands. And they watched Monique go out here. And then you have Steve Harvey and all the rest of them talking about, you're talking too much, sis. You're talking too much, sis. Now that's the coonery shit. And y'all know I don't do name calling. Y'all know I don't really do that, but when you defending the system, and just because we might be controlling the system like that, that was a slave deal, to be honest with you. And you the only one get an Oscar off the movie? No residuals, no nothing? Now, y'all got to know how this game worked with actors and actresses guilds and agents and stuff like that. You got to understand that this was no different than like a Sundance movie, a Sundance where they go out and do the screening and all that old type of stuff. And it was not even really put out. It was put out to be picked up. Y'all, do you know that game? It was put out there to be picked up by a major situation. And what happened is it got put out and it got wind beneath its wings and it didn't need anything. It didn't need help from the main. It didn't need help from Sony. It didn't need help from big companies. It didn't need help. It did its due. So she wasn't expecting any of that. She wasn't expecting that to come from the small budget. No, that's not how it works, especially when people be like, hey, sis. Hey, sis, y'all know that shit. Every time one of my buddies, or not my buddies, but somebody that know me, every time they call and they say, I got a favor. I mean, I'm going to do you a favor, bro. I got some shit set up for you. First thing come to my mind is, how much is this favor going to cost me? How much this shit going to cost? Because this nigga got a favor for me. Oh, yeah. Okay. What you got, Ryan? Favor for me mean it's going to cost me. And they throw the brother shit up. Like, come on, bro. Hey, bro. We need to start sticking together, bro. Well, let's get a contract. Let's do some good business. That's how you stick together. Do good business. Doing good business is sticking together. That's it. Doing good business is sticking together. And it'd be the main ones talking that shit about, oh, we need to do this. We need to do that. We need to do, we. My first question to you is, what are you doing? That's fair. Don't tell me what you can do for me. What you doing for yourself? Don't tell you how you can help me. Tell me how you helping yourself first. That's fair. Let's get all the bullshit players out of the game. Let's get them out of the game, and then we can work on us. Glenn says, okay, that's a good analogy, like a Sundance movie. That makes sense now. But $50K? Yeah, bro, you know what, man? To be honest with you, they did sis wrong. They gave her $50,000. That was just to set her up while she shot the movie. She just made money. Bro, Monique has a residency, not a home, but a show residency in Las Vegas. Bruh, Monique make more than $50,000 for the residuals off of that show that she did. Monique, that $50,000 was free. That $50,000 is not life-changing money for her. An up-and-coming artist, an up-and-coming actor or actress or something like that, that $50,000 is a worldwide difference with you get the credentials of doing the movie, the whole nine. That $50,000 is so low, I know it was some bullshit in the game. Monique don't need $50,000, folks. I'm not counting her money. I'm just telling you that I know she don't need $50,000. She did it on the GP of we gonna work shit out together. We gonna build some shit, and look at how we got done. Trust me, I've been a victim a few times of that shit. What we can build together, and then that we turn into the W flipping over into an M, and it's me now stuck with everything to do. But we gonna do it. Remember that fake ass shit when Lee Daniels, I don't know if I still had that makeup. They made up. He made up with a bullshit ass apology. Come on, y'all. Y'all seen that shit. We best friends, and we gonna fucking do it again. That's what he said. And if I was Monique, I'd have shut it down right then and there. But then she would have lived up to the false pretense that they have of her. She's difficult. You know what? I'd be difficult too if every time we got to be together, you on some bullshit. It's easy to be a difficult person when every time you're around somebody, they on some bullshit. Come on, man. Come on, y'all. That man stood up there and lied. Been up there, just stood up there on the damn stream and lied with his little ass floating around there. He lied. And she was my best friend. No, she never was, because you would have never played her like that. You would have gave her the $50,000 and plus gave her some residuals on the back end. How about like 1.5%? For those that don't know, that's a common number. That's a common number. And you give her $50,000 and then you want her to come do these promotions overseas. This was a Sundance type of situation, y'all. We were not supposed to be promoting this shit worldwide. The money would have been different if we would have had those conversations at the beginning. The money would have been different. You can't expect me to take $50,000 and then be walking away from $75,000 a show in the United States. I can go on tour and make $60,000 or $75,000 a night. And now you want me to go overseas. And the only reason why sis didn't talk about that type of end of it is because she don't want y'all in her pocket. She don't want you in her pocket. If she can make $75,000 a night doing shows throughout the United States, why am I going over to Europe to promote, or going to Africa to promote Precious and missing out on all this money? So I can say I'm affiliated with Lee Daniels and Oprah and Tyler Perry, building up their portfolio, making them more money? My job is done. That's what she said. My job is done. I did the movie. You paid me to do the movie. You didn't pay me for all of the promotion shit that had to go on after the fact. The money would have been different. Oh, you want me to go overseas for 2 months? Then I got to be able to be compensated for 2 months. How long do you think $50,000 is going to last? So what? Oprah offered to bring her, to send her with the private jet and all that old shit, but it wasn't putting no money in her pocket. They paid her $50,000 and that's all she had coming. If they sold 150,000 more clicks or 150,000 more subscriptions to that movie, or if they sold more tickets to the movie over in Africa somewhere, she wasn't going to make a dime of that movie. They played her. And it wasn't the contract that they played her on. It was what came after when she said no. When she said, I'm not going to do that, honey. I'm not going to be out here like, no, I'm not doing all that. We didn't negotiate. That wasn't the plan. That's not what we discussed. This is not what $50,000 buys you. That's what she's trying to tell y'all. And the only reason why she took that short ass money is because she was trying to be part of the we shit. We can build up something special. Now, y'all trying to tell me that sister, as strong as she is in the culture, would want to backdoor Tyler Perry the way she did, recording him? The only reason why she did that is just like a video cam, just like a police video cam. We want to see the evidence of how dirty somebody can do us that have no business being dirty like that. And Tyler Perry got set up to show you just how he really play ball. You think Monique really wanted to do that? You really think she wanted to expose one of the most prominent guys in the industry? It was definitely going to end her. You think Monique wanted to get on stage and talk about Oprah Winfrey in front of all these sisters that have been admiring Oprah Winfrey for many years? How does she benefit from that? And you trying to speak to people where if they don't know, if you don't know how shit go in them, amongst those type of people, if you don't know, you will sit back and think Monique the devil. You putting shit on Oprah. You putting shit on Tyler Perry. They don't do shit like that. They billionaires. They don't do people wrong. They ain't gonna do nobody like that. She tripping. She a chaos agent. She had been telling you this shit was going on prior to the setup on the phone, prior to the exposing Oprah. She had been saying all this shit publicly, and everybody was like, huh? Even Steve Harvey had her on the show, on his show. And you know what? He did her ass so backwards. He did her so wrong, but Steve got what he deserved. A week later, Steve, what's his name? Steve Harvey's show got canceled. A week later. Now, I don't pray on it. I'm not praying that that's what should have happened. But like he said, Monique, this is the money game, sis. And he up there talking that sis shit. This is the money game, sis. In other words, nigga, you got to just play ball. You got to play with what they say. And Oprah and them are so tied into I know where the money come from. I know where the money come from. And I ain't going to say all that. I ain't going to get into all of that. But I know where the money come from. And Monique wasn't willing to play. She wasn't willing to put her integrity on the line for the bag. We owed her more support than what we gave her. But no, we so self-serving. We so selfish that when she was going up against Netflix, shit. Y'all know I be watching that special on Netflix. Yeah, I'm on season 2. I'm not fucking my Netflix up. Not fucking that up. No, Neek, you tripping. You tripping, girl. That's what y'all was saying. That's what y'all was saying. And it's tripping. It's tripping me out. It's tripping me out because we're supposed to be more, we want to stick behind other causes, but we don't want to stick behind the economic causes. That's what trips me out. We got to figure out a way to get in front of the money. So if I ask anything of any government, any institutions in the government, or anything that's Biden, Trump, any of them, I don't care about nothing other than economic pathway. Matter of fact, shut your eyes, look the other way, and just give me an opportunity for me to be me. I don't need you to hand me anything for me to be me. I got my own tools. I got my own tools and my own know-how. We've been making our way since I was a little bitty ass boy. I don't need any help. Just get out the way. Just don't make it difficult for me because it's already tough enough. I want to say this to my entrepreneurs out here. I started out talking about entrepreneurs. I want to say something to you. You're a blessing breed. You're different. Always remember that. People going to laugh at you. They're not going to want to be part of what you're doing until you are successful. And then they're going to say you tripping. They're going to say you tripping. They're going to say you changed. You didn't change. They changed. Pamela Kennedy says, Monique didn't want to talk about Oprah in front of black or white people. You know that white acceptance is crucial to entertainers and their money. Future jobs and the next gig offend them. She didn't. You're absolutely right, Angela. I'm sorry, Pamela. Pardon me. She didn't. That was a last resort. Do you know how long she went by not even speaking on that incident? Not even speaking about that situation? It went a long way. But what happened was this. What we didn't see in the foreground was what was happening in the background. And what was happening in the background was this. They were stopping her from working. They was putting bad shit on her name. That's why she shouldn't. Listen, if somebody needed to get smacked on stage, it should have been Lee Daniels' punk ass when he went up there and gave her that fake ass apology. Yeah, that fake ass apology. Oh, that's my sister. We was best friends. Well, why the fuck you make it so difficult for my sister? Why did you run her through the coals and make up fake false shit? Why did you do that, bro? Why did you do that? You being a punk ass. You just being a punk ass. You doing the same shit junior high kids do to one another on a professional level. You need your ass kicked for that. I don't mean like physically. I mean, you should have to deal with some questions. You should have to give us some answers. It was a punk ass move. And now Lee Daniels says, I'm sorry. And now she's supposed to be okay. What about all the money she's lost for the last 4 years because you're saying she's difficult? You can't even go back there and give her. She complains about everything. She complained about everything. And her husband, oh, Lord. Now, see, sisters, let me say this to you. You talk about a man going up to the stage and smacking somebody because of what was said about their wife. I don't hear any of y'all cheering for this woman who has a husband who is trying to make things fair for his wife by being her manager, by being her everything to her, trying to keep the books right, trying to get her on movies, trying to do everything. You know what they say? We don't want to deal with him. He difficult. Nah, he just know what to ask for. He know her value. He know her true worth. That's why she's set up the way she's set up. Don't act like Monique is some young chicken. Don't act like Monique don't know shit. Monique done been through the Mary J. Blige marriages. She done been through the abusive, the drunk, the cheating. She been through all that shit. She finally found the man that she's always needed, and that's the one who she called daddy. Now, I don't like that. I don't like, that ain't got nothing to do with me. She could call him Jesus for all I care. I'm just talking about from old school. Old school women do say daddy and shit like that. I just it never registered with me, but I get it. It's short for cat daddy. Some old shit. I get it. But the same people that's talking about Will Smith and him standing up on honor, I don't hear y'all talking about Monique's husband. He's doing her more honor than anybody. And we letting Black Hollywood say that he's difficult and she's difficult. And she the only one that step up and go against the grain about some of the shit that's going on. She's trying to make it fair for us. And nobody praises her. Instead, she's the villain. You ain't got no business talking about black women in the airport with bonnets. She call you a queen and say we need better behavior than that, and you find the negative in all of it. She ain't got no business. She ain't nobody auntie. Come on now. She don't need to be talking about nobody like that. Who she thinks she better than. Look at what she look like trying to talk about us. I heard it all. I heard it all about her. I heard it all. But I tell you one thing I didn't hear. I haven't heard one time how strong her relationship with her husband is. I haven't heard anything about their trouble. I ain't heard them out here fighting, no domestic violences. I ain't heard she cheating on him. I ain't heard he cheating on her. I ain't heard none of that. All I hear from Monique and her camp is how happy she is and how her and her husband are handling their business together as a company. You know what the difference is between Jada and Monique? Now, y'all Googled it. I mean, you share this one. See, the numbers go down. People don't want to hear this shit because it's positive. But let me tell you the difference between a woman like Monique and a woman like Jada Pinkett Smith. Whenever let me start with the queen. The queen. They both queens, but let me start with the one who I want to adore the most. Who I adore the most. Whenever you hear Monique talk about her husband, it's all positive. It's a great situation. She talks of strength of her man. When you hear Jada talking, you don't hear that same energy. Jada went on a show and exposed how she wasn't really sure. She went on the show and exposed sexuality situations about how Will couldn't really do certain things. She went in and talked about how she loved this another man. They didn't went up here and they daughter and wrote a letter to a dead man saying, "Can you please come back?" Monique would never. Monique would never. And for some odd reason, sisters can't see the difference and haven't even compared the two. I bet you maybe somebody who pretends not to listen to the show, maybe somebody would trigger them onto this conversation right here. They have bigger audiences. They have people that pay attention to them a lot. You know, that they're very influential people. If you really want to see a queen who admires their king, all you got to do is look at Monique. And you know what we say? Y'all say shit like, "Oh, she's crazy. She love her man too much." Listen to the shit she say. She's very positive about her man. The only thing I don't like is that daddy shit. That's the only thing. Now, y'all got to admit, when you hear Monique talk about her relationship with this new man, now, you know she done been through a lot of shit with other men. She done cheated on men. She done had men cheat on her. She done been through the Mary J. Blige relationships. All that shit. But she finally found somebody that's compatible, that's on they shit on business, and she love him in public. She speaks highly of him. And he does her. Same thing. See, ladies and gentlemen, all I can tell you is this. Love is a two-way street. Ladies, you can't expect a man to treat you the way you don't treat him. You want to be admired. You want to be said you're a queen. You want to be treated like a queen. You want to be told that you're beautiful, that you're fine. You want to feel like a queen on his arm. You want to do all that shit. And it's all, I commend that. It's the way you should live your life. But at the same time, ladies, you have to make him feel important too. It's not a one-way street. It go both ways. It go both ways. Mary Myers, what's good? Well, y'all gotta, okay, Glenn says the whole bonnet thing had him looking different at Monique, sideways at Monique. Y'all don't understand. Since then, there's been people that came out with companies that have these different design bonnets and stuff. But, I posted, when this thing was going on, I posted a few videos or pictures of people at the airport. And it was ladies that came out wearing anything. And some of them had on bonnets. And then the little girls that were fighting at the airports, all of them had on bonnets. That's where she's getting this from. Listen, you can be a sharp, sophisticated woman rocking a bonnet the right way. And I'm pretty sure Monique, knowing who she is, she's not going to criticize that individual. But you can't rock a bonnet out here looking like you just rolled out of bed. You can't do that. And she's talking about the people that come out here that just don't have any pride in what they look like. It wasn't, you focused too much on the bonnet. She was talking about the entire outfit this young lady had on, and she happened to have a bonnet on. Bonnet became the main focus. And then you had somebody that even capitalized on it. What's that lady name? Tammy or something like that? I don't know her name. But here she come out with a bonnet that's more like a cap or something, and it made sense. So how can I not admire someone that takes an opportunity like that and use their entrepreneurial spirit, comes out with a product? God damn. That's how you monopolize a situation. That's just working smart. That's just working smart. And I think people just got that bonnet thing thrown out of proportion a little bit. Miss Myers, Mary, you still on vacation or are you gone? You back home? I seen you. I was mad. I was jealous. Get your ass off that beach. Get home. You make me sick. I'm just playing. I know you had a good time, I'm sure. Where did you go? Puerto Rico? She says, I'm home. I'm home. Well, you made Puerto Rico look very attractive. You made me want to get to that damn airport and get me one of them virgin daiquiris. I was ready. Yeah, I don't drink. But I'll take a virgin daiquiri. My kids call it an icy. I'll take one of those any day because I usually get one of those virgin daiquiris, the strawberry one. And what I do is I add an extra strawberry on it. And that's how I eat it. That's how I take it. I love them. But listen, I don't mean to be crucial about everything. You know, I'm crucial person, but when it comes to certain things, we just got to keep our eyes open. Got to keep our eyes open. And I think Monique was one of them that we need to pay attention. We talking about Will and Jada. Whew. I think the better conversation between us in our community would be Monique and her husband. Because they showed how when you stick together and have that much love that you can conquer anything. And then the Lee Daniels and all the guys that we think that are calling shots, they come back. Shit get right. I remember when I first started out in the boxing game, I felt like I needed all the popular names. I felt like I needed all the people who everybody know. And then I said to myself, well, these guys don't even really mess with me. So I got to figure out to do what I love doing. I got to figure out to do it without the people that don't really want me there. So I don't affiliate myself with those folks. I found a way to create my own lane in the things that they love to do because I love to do it too. And what happens is if you build your brand big enough, you build yourself situated, you get yourself in a position where maybe they will eventually try to seek you out. But then that's when you turn around and you say, hey. And you know when you start saying that, hey, that's when you different. You think you the shit. No. Let me tell you, there's some sisters right now, some people out there right now that I know where they started. I know. I ain't talking about boxing. I'm talking about, I know the business that they started last year. And I know I helped them motivate. I motivated them. Listen, I can't wait for them to get multiple contracts. I can't wait from 4 years, 5 years from now, and they got trucks riding around city of Cincinnati with their name on the side of them. And I'm going to say, where my residuals at? No, what I'm going to say is, you're welcome. Because they're going to tell me, man, it was you. I already get that. I had a guy tell me the other day he failed. He failed. But you know what he did? And I can't tell you his name because a tear came out of his eye. And if I told his name, he would never respect our privacy. He won't think I'm a private guy. This guy came to me. He failed at starting his business. But you know what he said to me? He said, Wyatt, you know what? It didn't work out, but I'm not going to stop. I'm going to try something different, or I might try this again, but I have to get my money right. But I'm going to keep going. But you know what, bro? I feel so good that I even tried. And I would have never tried if it wasn't for you telling us during that COVID shit. I would have never tried. And if it wasn't for COVID, I might have had an opportunity to succeed at this business. But it kept me from going in homes and doing what I do. He has a service where he cleans carpets. And I said, this is not the time to stop. This is not the time. People are allowing people in their homes now, bro. Get in there and clean some freaking carpet. I said, I tell you what, man. I tell you what. What's stopping you? And you know what he told me? He told me something that I couldn't fix. He said, my wife is pregnant, man. I got to get back to work. I said, okay, brother. But when you ready to come back and do this, you look me up. Hopefully I'm in a position that I can refer you to some people, line you up with someone. But there's certain things that you have to take priority over your dreams. And I'm not going to force someone to run down a one-way street in a dark alley. I know that could lead to more disaster than a failing business. I've been there. You know, somebody asked me the other day, they didn't ask me, they assumed that one of the issues I had in my private life was a cheating situation that stuff happened. And I'm like, oh man, that's how we, I had that conversation. I forgot who it was. Miss Delita was on, and she kept talking about cheat. And I was like, well, I've had issues in my relationship and blah, blah, blah. And she was like, yeah, cheat. And I'm like, is every issue a cheating relationship issue, or could it be something else? Because I ran into a different issue. I'm that nigga that they put in the house joint and at the casino. I'm just using this as an analogy. I risk it all when I bet. I shove my chips in the middle. I'm betting on me. Every time. I'm all in. Let's see what happened. My wife didn't grow up like that. My wife needed security. She wasn't ready for a dude like me. She wasn't ready to risk it all. Excuse me. She wasn't really ready for, see, how hustlers do it is we'll put our rent money on the table and we'll bet it. Bet. My wife was pregnant with our first child, and I made one of the biggest bets in my life. And I drove my baby crazy. I drove my wife crazy and my expecting baby crazy. Because I was doing risky shit. I was betting it all because I was going to make sure I had everything I needed for my family. And in order to do that, I had to make sacrifices. And one of the sacrifices was betting all my chips on one play. And in my mind, I knew the odds were against me. I knew it. I knew it was a better shot that I wasn't going to make it. But I had been there so many times, yo. I'm going to tell you something. You can learn to fail. You just can't get used to it. Every time I failed at something, it hurt. It hit me in the gut. I felt like it shouldn't have failed. I felt like this is not right. This is not reality. This shit is wrong. And that's how you should feel. If you don't feel any other way than that, then you didn't put it all out there. You didn't bet all your chips. You didn't think that it was going to work. You left some. You left some of you in you. You didn't give it all you had. I remember my baby was born in December, and I was still waiting. I was still waiting to see if this shit was going to work out. And if it didn't work out, what was I going to tell my wife? I lost it all. I lost it all in a crap game, baby. I lost it all in a card game. Nah. I know that feel, but I was in no position to tell another grown man to push all your chips in the middle. You got to be built for that. As much as I wanted to tell him, man, shove them motherfucking chips in the middle. You all in, bro. You done spent all this money. You've committed yourself, and you right on the edge of breaking over what you need to do. But when he said my wife is pregnant and I need to go make a check, I need a check, I can't fight that. I'm not even going to try to convince you that you can win. You got to know you can win. Now, he know I'm not attacking him. But you have to know it. I can't convince you of it. But here's the thing. Moral of the story is for him to come to me and thank me for the motivation and for the encouragement. And I hope this brother comes back. And I hope he does what he needs to do. And I hope to see he has a fleet of trucks with his carpet cleaning service. I hope he does that. And, I think he can be successful. But I can't blame him for stopping because, like I said, you got to put certain things ahead of your own dreams. But when she dropped that baby blood, my man, you get your ass back out there and you do what you do so you can get them fleets of trucks. And I'm always going to be here for you. And I'm always going to be here for my Wyatt-Live family, man. Hook or crook, book and crook, all of that. And my entrepreneurs that are out there who listened, and we are family here now, and we all trying it. The Sabrina Callaways, the PCs, the people that are doing things with their talents. Keep it up. Because the only way you're going to fail, the only way you're going to fail is if you never try to do it. If you try it and you're doing it, and it only lasts 6 months, it only lasts a year, it only lasts 2 years, and you turn over and you say, I can't do this anymore, guess what? You will never live to regret the effort you put towards your own name on what you're trying to do, your own creation. It's the greatest feeling in the world. That's my time. This is Wyatt. I love everybody. Peace and love to everybody. I'll see you guys hopefully tomorrow at 5. Listen, I got 2 tickets to give away. Hit me up in the DM and I'll give them to I tell you what, how can we do this? I tell you what right now. First one to call me right now. Wait a minute. No, not now. Not now. We'll do this tomorrow. First one that called me right now with this number, you get 2 tickets to the fights this weekend. It's the first caller that calls 513-310-0546. The first one that calls, when the phone rings, you got the tickets. I don't hear no phone. I don't hear the phone ringing. 513-310-0546. 2 tickets to the fights this weekend, Easter weekend. New Era Boxing Champs by Wyatt. Appreciate you. Peace and love to everybody. If I start my outgo music and don't nobody call, that's just 2 more tickets I have to give away. Uh-oh. Hey, caller, what's your name?
What's up, man? That's Daryl.
Daryl.
Carpenter. Yeah, what's up, man?
What's good with you, D?
All right.
Daryl, what did you say? You say this is who? Daryl what?
Carpenter.
Carpenter. What's good, D?
Yeah.
What's good? I'm sorry, bro. You faded out on me, man. You know, I got this rinky-dinky phone system, but we working on it. It sounds like you wants to go to some boxing matches this weekend.
Yeah, I want them tickets.
You want them tickets? DC, I don't know how to do this, bro. We're going to try this. Do you have my information, my contact information?
No, I don't.
All right, so this is Daryl Carpenter, right?
Yeah.
What I'm going to do, Daryl, is I got these 2 tickets right here, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you on will call. It's going to be 2 tickets for Daryl Carpenter at will call, okay?
Okay.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to, if you can, I'll DM you the flyer so you'll know what time and you'll have the address and everything.
Okay.
Is that cool?
Man.
You have my word.
Yeah.
Your name will be on the will call. I appreciate you sticking in with us tonight, Daryl. Okay, bro?
All right, man. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. That's Daryl Carpenter, y'all, the winner of the first 2 sets. Let me write that shit down. Daryl Carpenter, the dude that always disagreed with me on all my points. Now I got to get this nigga some tickets. I'm just playing. DC, I'm proud of you, man. Thank you for coming in, calling. I appreciate you guys. Nothing but love, man. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow we might give away a couple more tickets, man. Peace and love to everybody.
Can you dance? Let's find out. I want to see everybody on the dance floor right now. I'm about to put y'all to the test. Let's go. Do you know the dances? Do you know the hip-hop dances? Let's see. This one is the raw for sure, taking no chances. Bringing back them old school dances, here's the answers. Whether you remember or you're new to this endeavor, dance is a major part of this culture forever. What are we preserving if the children ain't learning? Culture ain't about just numbering and just wording. Sometimes you gotta show the culture at the party. Let's start with the Bismarck dance. Come on, everybody. The Bismarck, the party bout to get sparked. This is that moment you get live, get courage, get hard. I spit art, I'm one of a kind, they not me. I'm digitally underground like Shock G. Speaking of Shock G, when I jump, we jump. That's crisscross, but we talking about Humpty Hump. When you up, what? This is your chance. Come on, everybody, do the Humpty dance. Let's go. Was the times we even did it on the block. Ready, set, go.
Congratulations,
Stand on your
Daryl.
spot. Take it to the top. Come on, y'all. Let's do the rock. Watch this. Whopping, non-stopping, hip-hopping, we dropping. We ain't even get
Peace.
to popping or locking. It's shocking how many dance moves we came with. Obviously, we and the ancestors got the same gift, the same lift, the same riff, and the same split. Like Bob Marley said, when the music hits, it's painless. You can't tame this or hate this. You gotta love me. Come on, y'all. Let me see you do the Dougie. Woo! That's right. That's right. This is that part where we go freestyle. Some of y'all doing the Cabbage Patch. Some of y'all doing the Running Man. Let me see what you got. Come on. Freestyle. Freestyle. Come on, y'all. Yeah. Where my B-boys at? Where my B-girls at? Okay. We out. Can you dance? Let's find out. I want to see everybody on the dance floor right now. I'm about to put y'all to the test. Let's go. Do you know the dances? Do you know the hip-hop dances? Let's see. This one is the raw for sure, taking no chances. Bringing back them old school dances, here's the answers. Whether you remember or you're new to this endeavor, dance is a major part of this culture forever. What are we preserving if the children ain't learning? Culture ain't about just numbering and just wording. Sometimes you gotta show the culture at the party. Let's start with the Bismarck dance.